Right, it is quarter past. Just gone quarter past. Right, how is everyone? Seems like we've got a lot less people here than we had yesterday. We had like 50 people here yesterday. So we got a whole four. No, it's all right, it's all right. I get it, it's a Wednesday. Middle of the week streams, never too popular. And I get that people might be a little bit disappointed that we're not working on V2 today. So unfortunately, Captain Hans in our chat, who is also our community manager, doesn't have his kit yet because UPS is, they're a bunch of bastards apparently. So we're not working on the V2 stuff today. We're going to be building a micron instead. We're going to at least get a start on it. You might have seen on the thumbnail, my micron is not going to be exactly the same as everyone else's, put it like that. We're going to try and CNCify this thing as much as possible. So once V2 is up and running, I'll have the work area that I need to mill the plates out, to mill a bunch of the gantry parts, all that kind of stuff. So for now, just to fill in the time, because obviously Hans hasn't got his kit yet. Because of that, we're going to just do some work on the micron build. And to start with, I should have done this before stream. But I've completely forgotten to get the micron manual downloaded. If you don't know what the micron is, it's basically a mini V2.4. And it's somewhere in between a V2.4 and a V0 printer, right? And at this point, the only vorons I haven't built is a V2.4. So this is going to be like my completion of all the different vorons that you can possibly build, excluding the Doron Velter, because I really want to build the Doron Velter at some stage. But that seems to be a project that's kind of died off. I don't think it's being actively developed anymore. How is everything? Is the music fine? Because I rewatched the stream from a couple days ago, and the music was pretty loud. So give me a thumbs up in chat if you think the music's all right. Documentation. Manual. I'm guessing we're going to be starting with the frame today. I have gone through earlier today and done all the heat inserts, so we don't need to worry about doing too many of those on stream today. Where is everyone? Normally we get way more people than this on stream. Is it just because it's a weeknight, do you think? Right, I may... I'm going to disappear for 1 second. There we go. And then I should... Ooh, nope, don't want that. Woo. There we go. There we go. All right, so you can actually see what's going on now. So, this is going to be annoying because the screen is so far away from me. So, if you've never built a V0 before, I love them. I really, really, really love small printers. Small printers are my favorite thing in the world. And out of all the vorons I built, the one that produced the best prints of all time was my original I think it was my V0.1. And it produced all the parts I needed to build my Trident. And then on the Trident, I built the 2 switch wires. One of them I've now given away, and the other is still up there. That's my sentimental value one. It never prints anything. I'm pretty sure it doesn't have a hot end thermistor right now because I yoinked it from a while ago. So the kind of printer for ants printers tend to use 1515 extrusions rather than the 2020 that are pretty standard on the other Voron builds. And because of that, they don't have any roll-in T-nuts. So if you've ever built a V0 or one of the printers for ants before, you know that it's kind of a pain. Oh, you don't want to see that, do you? I'm going to split that. There we go. I think it's good. If you are in chat, say hi. God, chat's not been this quiet in ages. I know Hans is here. But if you are in chat, just say hi. Awesome. So I got given this kit from Fabreeko. Now this was a partial kit before the new versions of the kit started coming out. So there's a few small differences that I have. Things like you're meant to have 10 of a certain extrusion, and I've only got 8 of them, plus another extrusion that's way too long, so I'm gonna have to cut those down at some stage. What's up, boss man? Nothing much. Nothing much. I'm pissed that we're not working on V2 today, but yeah. I was thinking of building a voron, but Milo upgrades ate up my money. Yeah, well, Milo's expensive. Milo's expensive. I'd really, really like to build Milo today. I really wanted to build my Milo today, but Hans, you weren't there. You weren't there to pick up your package that day. I'm joking, by the way. I know the fact that UPS can be a bunch of shitheads with stuff like that. All right, I'm gonna put you up there, and you can stay up there. Okay, so why have I disappeared on stream? I haven't disappeared on stream. My stream's just lagging behind. Hey Saf, how you doing, bud? Okay, default decisions. Micron gives you more build options than your favorite questionable takeaway, and more ways to overthink them. Default decision is your shortcut to a working printer with minimal head scratching. Want to flex your engineering muscles and make all the choices? Crack on, but pack snacks, it's a longer ride. Yes, it's going to be a much longer ride with this build, because eventually I'm planning to get index mounted on this thing. So I've done all the pre-applied inserts for all the parts that we're going to be doing today, up to the point where I want to get at. Hey Jose, how you doing, bud? Jose is the man who annoyed me so much the other day because he knew I was working on a micron build, and then he had to say, he knew I got a partial kit, and then he had to ruin it and tell me that there was a full kit coming out from LDO soon. So if you want to build a micron, there's a full kit coming from LDO very soon. Okay, come on. All right, frame time. So we're gonna need some M3 by 8s. I've already pre-installed them on the extrusions that require them. And then we're gonna need nut carriages. So there are 2 sizes of a micron build. There's a 120, which is kind of your standard V0 size. And there's a 180mm one. We're gonna be building the 180mm one. And the build plate that we're going to be making for this, for the 180 version, is not going to be using the standard build plates that come with like an LDO kit or any other kit. We're going to be using the Bamboo Labs A1 build plates just because I really like them. Might grab one if I don't spend all my money on upgrading V2 next year. How much money do you have, Hans? Like, you upgrade so many things. How are you in university and able to afford all this stuff? Right, so I'm gonna need what looks to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 2 of the 7 nut holders. Alright, so that's these. I think these need a little bit of super glue just to keep the nuts in place. Not even a word from them. Oh yeah, Jose's been updating me on his V2 build for the last couple of days. Which is really annoying because now there's people who aren't even on the team who are building V2s before I can build my V2. cruel, cruel world. Right. Will these fit in here without falling out, or do I need to glue them down? No, those are a friction fit. Delayed by 1 day since 3 days. It sounds to me that it might have lost or damaged your package, because that's what UPS does when they've lost your package and they're just trying to find it. Hey, it looks like we've got a load more people who just joined stream. Hey folks, make yourselves known in chat. Streams always go way nicer when there's people to talk to. If you're just joining us, we've decided that we're going to build a micron today because Hans is too lazy to go and get his own Milo kit from UPS. He's too lazy to go and clutch it from the hands of UPS. Hey, is any word on CASA kits? Should I just go ahead and self-source? Yes. It sounds like to me that LDO won't be doing a CASA kit again, ever. With the best build in the world, Jose, if you don't know, Jose works for LDO. The CASA kit was a bit of a nightmare. And I'm not necessarily blaming LDO here, because it's a lot of stuff to ship. Like, it's a big mass of stuff to ship. And there were a few complaints about it on the Discord. But yeah, it's a big thing to ship, and LDO doesn't really ship. Like, the biggest thing that LDO ships is probably Milo, and that's a good 33 kilos, right? The panel size on anything to do with Milo is small enough that you can stick it in a normal size voron box or something like that, and it'll be fine. It takes a lot to ship something with panels and extrusion the size of CASA. Like, it's hard to get right. So, yeah, I don't blame LDO. So far, with a few small things that are a few small issues, the kit for the V2 looks really good. The kit for the V1.5 was really good. So I'm gonna say that the kit for V2 is probably gonna be good as well. Yeah, for CASA, it's not a weight issue, it's more a box dimensions issue. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And the thing is, like, we didn't really help out because for V2, for V1.5, and even for V1.4 when we were still doing the testing for that, and LDO was helping us foot the bill for that. What was I going to say? I've completely lost my train of thought there. Oh yeah, for all that stuff, we were there to test it. We were there to ensure that it was up to standard. For CASA, no one on the team had space for another CASA. Like, there's a reason this room doesn't have a CASA in it anymore. There's a reason this room doesn't have CASA in it anymore. And that's because it's a big piece of furniture. That's why I've moved it all over to the container. And I'm going to move all my CNC stuff is now going to be in the container, and this is just going to be the print farm and streaming station. Right. So, if I'm getting this correct, I want us to do... Well, that was a pain. These nuts are falling out after all, so I am going to have to glue them in. Where's my super glue at? Hate it when I have to do stuff like this on stream. Honey, where's my super glue? Sorry, Brisket. Did I wake you up from your nap? Can you tell I wasn't very prepared for this stream? Where is my super glue? I had it right here earlier today. This is a problem when you're moving a bunch of stuff from workshop to workshop. You always forget what you put where. Not the way I wanted to start stream off, I must admit. Not the way I wanted to start the stream off. Right, I'm gonna have to just load these in a gravity loaded way. Yeah, if it's built big tables, prep for building the casa, and the top is like 3 foot by 6 foot, just have enough real estate. Yeah, it's big. It's big. That's why I plan on making a smaller version of casa for Miley, so you don't have to run into that issue anymore. Well, it'll still be quite big. It'll still be pretty big. It'll still be the same height and the same depth, but it'll be 200 mils shorter at least in kind of the X direction. I always lose my glue and simmer stuff and keep buying some, and then after I find it. Yeah, well, that's probably going to happen tonight. That will probably happen tonight. Nuts on 1515 extrusions are always going to be hell. They're always going to be hell. Is something happening tonight? Is someone else on stream? Is Steve streaming? Steve always steals my viewers. No, I'm joking. Steve is just a better streamer than I am. Just in general. Right. Teeny tiny rails. What are these? MGN 5? I think no, MGN 7. I don't know whether or not there's enough gubbins in this kit to do all the screws. So I'm gonna do the normal screw one side, skip the next, and continue like that. Those are so tiny. I think Modbot was on. Yeah, he's got that Venture XL build going on at the moment, isn't he? I like the fact that big printers are becoming a thing now, but at the same time, like, there's so many issues with having a big printer. I think Nero said it best when he did his Venture XL review. If you mess up a single print, you're losing a spool. Like, you've lost a whole spool of material. And then we still get people who complain that there's too much printing to be done on Milo. And that parts are too big. You can't win sometimes. You just can't win. Alright, I think we have to repeat this 3 or 4 times. We're going to have to repeat this 3 more times after this, because it's all part of the Z assembly. To be honest, I finished my V2 parts quite quickly. Yeah, if you have 2 printers, if you have even 1 printer, go to work. Like, put a plate on, go to work. Right? By the time you get back, put the next plate on. It doesn't take more than like a week of printing 1 plate a day, and most people will be working in that time anyway. Like, I never understood people who complain about lots of 3D printing. Other than content creators who, like, their whole job is based around making stuff, like, then I can get it. But why are you complaining if you work a day job? Because you're not going to be stood right next to the machine as it's printing. Just set it and forget it. Right. Rail alignments. Z-rails are mounted before assembly on the frame. Stand up one of the A extrusions and use all print rail alignment tools as shown to align the bottom of the rails. The rail end should be 36 millimeters from the bottom of the extrusion. Use a second rail alignment tool on the upper half of the rail using the section marked 7 to properly center the rail on the extrusion. Okay. Just start printing. Maybe impatience, like I usually want to get done with printing fast so I can build stuff. Yeah, but I get that. But if, like, most people are ordering kits, most people will not self-source a Milo or even Vorons. Like, no one wants to self-source for a lot of, unless they have to. All right? No one wants to self-source unless they have to. So you buy your kit, you know it's going to be coming in 2 weeks. Okay, so why are you printing stuff? Why are you not pressing print on your printer straight away? Like, you know, you have 2 weeks. You're gonna be able to print everything in that 2 week time span. Hey Steve, how you doing, bud? How are you doing? Has anyone in chat actually built a micron yet? Is there anyone I can rely on to save me from doing stupid shit? I mean, Milo kit, when I bought it, took like 3 days to get here from Austria. Yeah, exactly. You still, that's 3 days of printing, and then you've got another 2 days of printing after it's arrived. Okay. Odds are you're still going to have work or university or something like that to keep you doing stuff. You can wait another week or a few days or something like that. I don't know. I don't think it's a... I did the new full kit. How did it go? How did it go? I love the micron. I love the idea of the micron. I have gone on record before to say I'm not a big fan of like QGL and stuff like that, because I don't think it's necessary on a 3D printer. And that's going to get a load of people really angry at me, because QGL is like one of the big things that Vorons do. So it's going to be interesting with my mentality of what like a good 3D printer is, going into building a V2.4 style machine. It's nice and has become a go-to printer for most things. Yeah, I want this thing to be like... Right. First things first, I want this to be my display piece. I want this to be the thing that I can take to like Smurf or any of the other rep rack conventions where it'll fit in a suitcase or whatever. My mouse has died. God, everything's going wrong today on stream. Luckily, batteries are just here. Yeah, I want this thing to be the machine that I take to rep rack conventions and have fun with. Right? I want it to be solid. I want it to be small and compact. I want to be able to take this to the container if I need to have a 3D printer next to all my CNC machines so I don't have to constantly run home to do things if I need to fix anything. Right? Stuff like that where it's just easy enough to do. It's a small enough volume. I don't need to worry about it. It's big enough to actually do proper parts, because I don't think any printer nowadays should be less than 180 millimeters in build volume. I think that kind of Prusa Mini / A1 build plate size is great, but we lack printers, enclosed printers in that segment, in that build plate segment. Because 250 is great for your first printer. It's the great all-round kind of build plate size. 180 is kind of the minimum I would ever go for in a printer. Like my V2, like I was saying earlier in the stream, was my favorite printer. It produced the best parts I've ever made out of any of my Vorons. But even though that was the case, I couldn't really use it very often because the build plate was just too small. Like, you can't fit much on a 120 build plate. You underestimate my ability to ruin my sleep schedule to finish building something. Hey, Island Tigra. I've been thinking about making one for years, but never did. Yeah, the micron is a hard sell. I get that it's a hard sell because it's it's a lot of printer and not a lot of space for a start. It's the not annoyance, I'm not going to say annoyance, it's the intimidation factor of using 15mm extrusion, which is always harder than most other things to build with. But it's also just a really cool printer. It's a really cool printer. Like, who doesn't want a tiny V2.4? I wouldn't go for it if it was I found Milo easier than the V0 to build. Oh, hell yeah. V0 is the hardest Voron to build. It's the one Voron where if you make a mistake, you're gonna have to basically tear it apart just to fix it. If you forget to add one of the nuts, one of the pre-insert nuts on it, if you forget one of those, you're screwed. You have to go back a few steps. And depending on the extrusion, you might have to go back a few complete chapters in the manual just to fix the issue. Or you can try and jerry-rig it, and that never goes well. I found the micron easier than the V0 to build. Okay, that's what you wanted to say. The micron easier than the V0 to build. Okay, that's good to know. That's good to know. The V0 hasn't seen an update in a really long time, hasn't it? We had the V01, which went direct drive, and then the V02 added, they changed the homing position for the Z-axis. Oh, you have rolling T-nuts. Ah, again, you're doing this again, Jose. You're telling me all the nice things that the new LDO kit has, which I don't have access to. I didn't even know rolling T-nuts for 1515 existed. Hey, buddy. You okay? You just chilling? Do you know, I'm going to give you some guesses. I'm going to give you, chat, some guesses. What is happening on the 30th of this month? What super exciting event is happening on the 30th of this month? I will grant chat 3 guesses per person. I'll be nice. What monumentally important thing, for me at least? You're moving house on the 30th. Congrats on the move, dude. Or not, depends on why you're moving. But no, it's not that. I mean, it's a big thing, that's for you, but not what I was thinking about. I will say there's one thing that Millennium does way better than Voron, and that's the alignment tools for the rails. We have so much better alignment tools. I much prefer our ones. UPS might deliver your V2. I will say, if it doesn't arrive next week when I'm off on Monday to Wednesday next week, I'm just going to get started on the V2 build. Yeah. Our alignment tools are just so much better. I love Voron. They make some incredible stuff, but their alignment tools are not that great. You're constantly having to mess around with them. Like the ones we have on micron are better because these aren't shaking about. They kind of press fit. The standard ones that like Voron has, not great. At least I don't like them. But what do I know? What do I know? Right, seeing as no one's guessed, it's Brisket's first birthday. Brisket turns 1 year old on the 30th of September. Go on, bed. Come on, get your fat ass in bed. Or just ignore me and sleep on the other side of the camera, it's fine. Yes, I know. I'm going to be personally visiting their warehouse. I'm surprised you didn't. There's normally an option as a receiver to select where and when you want to pick it up. Like my package, my LDO Milo package, I could just ask to go and pick it up at their warehouse if I wanted to. Like I don't even have to call anyone. It's just the thing that's on DPD's website. And be like, I'm going to show up at this time at your warehouse. Please have my package ready. I'm pretty sure that these come with honey badger rails because the kit that I got has the honey badger logo on it. So I'm pretty sure these are the honey badger rails, and they seem to come pre-lubricated because, well, They don't move around, which is good. Oh, I didn't know Brisket was younger than my kids. Yeah, Brisket's not even a year old yet. Well, he will be on the 30th, but he's a puppy. He's my little baby. I only got him earlier in the year. It's not a thing in Hungary. It's got to be, man. It's got to be. You should be able to go out to a warehouse and be... It's a thing everywhere else in the world. It might just be with UPS, with that specific carrier, but like, I can do it with DPD, with Parcel Force, with loads of them. Over here, you have to request that. Yeah, it's just an online thing that you request. I know it works in the US because I've done it in the US. Brisket's inspecting the rest of the micron kit down below me. He's got his head in there, he's snuffling about. I've got some IKEA stuff arriving in the next few days, actually, that I want to build into some workbenches for both Milo and just general workbenches. Bud, you can't eat the cardboard. Come on, back it up. And it's just so that I can outfit the container and have that place as set up as a nice workplace. Because as much as I love the workbenches that I have in here, like these big dug workbenches have been actually amazing. As much as I love them, I'm not transporting these halfway across town, and I still need to keep them here to put all my 3D printers on and house all my tools from stream and stuff like that, because I'm still going to be doing most of my assembly work here. So I need to be able to build some quick work surfaces that I can put my drill press and my miter saw and stuff on like that on. Would people like to see that? Like a bunch of IKEA hacks, effectively, to get a quick workshop together. Would people watch a video on that? Kind of, if you've watched Mandic Really, like his whole series on getting his shop up and running again, like that kind of stuff. That's what I want to do with the container. It is coming into winter, so it means that I have to bring the batteries, the solar batteries, back and forth with me every day that power the whole container, just to charge them up before I go out. Because at the moment, it's been raining non-stop for 2 weeks here in where I live. And I have not managed to get more than like 10% charge on the batteries from the solar panels I have. But then again, I only have one of the solar panels hooked up. I've only got one of the 200 watt panels hooked up. I might be able to get away with keeping them there if I actually hook both of the panels up. But then I need to build a mount for them. So it's a whole load of things I have to, whole list of things I need to get done in order to do that. Whole order of operations that I have to do. Jose says, hell yeah. Yeah. I love a good IKEA hack. I want to do more IKEA hack stuff. I want to do more workshop stuff. Like, a lot of the stuff we do here is kind of just Millennium stuff and like duh, like this is the official Millennium channel. Why wouldn't we just be doing Millennium stuff? What's wrong, buddy? Am I not paying you enough attention? But I want to actually start doing some workshop videos, like doing some fabrication. Yes, 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 I know. You want to be part of the build. I know. Alright? But can't right now, bud. Come on, bed. Bed. Good boy. He's such a lovely dog. He's not very good at not jumping up on people, though. Get down. Go on, you can be my assistant. You can be my work assistant. Just don't touch any of the grease. He's great. Are you not tired enough to go for a nap? Is that what it is? Have you had enough sleep for today, and you want to play? Get down. My kitty usually pokes me when I'm working on Milo and then starts meowing so loud. I think Brisket is part cat. He must be. He gives me a great side eye. Brisket, get down. Right. Enough, bub. Enough, pup. Sit. I know. I'm a really horrible dad, aren't I? Because I'm not letting you play. I'm the worst human being to ever have humaned, aren't I? He really wants to play. Yeah, he does. It's because he hasn't had a long walk today. Normally we'll do like a 2 or 3 mile walk just to get him drained effectively. We'll do that once a day and then have a smaller walk in the evening. That's only like a mile long. But he hasn't had either of those today because it's too early for his nighttime walk, and it was raining all day today, like pissing it down. So I didn't really want to go on a really long walk, which is my fault, not the poor lad's fault. He's just got a lot of energy. Half of him is a really high energy breed that needs lots of exercise. So on days like this, where the weather's just not good enough to take him out to do that exercise, it can become an issue. I know, buddy. It's just really cold here, like 17°C. It's been way colder than that recently in the UK. I think we're down to 12 degrees tonight. You should see him when I'm trying to do CAD work. He's impossible to work with. Right, we're on the last Z-axis piece. Oh yeah, my cat needs like 3 hours of playtime per day at least. Yeah. But the thing is with most cats is if you don't play with them, or they'll just sort themselves out for a bit. They might scowl at you or this, that, and the next thing. Brisket is half collie, so he needs a job to do. And he gets bored of certain jobs really easily. So things like giving him balls to play with and stuff like that. He'll play with them by himself for a bit, but then he'll always want you to be involved in it after about 10 minutes of play. And that can become a bit much, especially because he's half bulldog as well. He can be quite belligerent with it. So he will genuinely run up to you and headbutt you if you're not playing with him. So sometimes I just have to confiscate his toys. Don't you eat Milo's cables. He hasn't done anything to you. That's just rude. Milo sometimes pays for your food. Just so you know. Brings me his toys always and puts those on my feet. Yeah. At least he doesn't jump on you to get you to play. Brisket will like punch me to start playing when he's really hyper. Kind of like what he did earlier where he jumps on my back. Well, he'll do that on my front side, but he'll just do a quick jab with both paws like that. Like I said, it's just because he's a high energy breed. He just needs that activity. Because of the weather, he just hasn't had it. And he's a young pup, like, he's less than a year old. He's gonna act badly sometimes. It's the whole point of training. Training never stops, you just gotta keep doing it. If I don't, he bites my feet. Brisket's pretty good, actually. When it comes down to going to bed, like, he will quieten down pretty quickly. We might have a little bit of wrestle before bed. But throughout the whole night, he stays still. He doesn't kick me, for the most part. He doesn't wake me up. He's actually pretty chilled. But when he's awake, well, then all hell breaks loose. What's everyone been up to? Obviously, Hans is getting ready for his V2 build. Jose's in the middle of his V2 build. But what else has everyone been up to? Tell me. I need people to talk on stream, otherwise it's just me awkwardly building something and talking to myself. Currently cooking dinner here. Ooh, what you got? What you got? I had Chinese food earlier. What have you got? Don't tell me it's brisket. I feel like we need to have a dedicated meat channel on the Discord because so many people are just barbecuing at the moment. We've had like 15 briskets in the last 2 weeks. We got to be very, very clear on what. Oh, beef soup. What is beef soup? Is that just like beef casserole, just thinner? Or is it more like a chowder? Oh, I could do with some chowder right now. Some bean chowder. Beans. Right. What's the next step after this? Cool. So it's going to ask for rail stops after this. Now I'm pretty sure, because there's two sizes of hex nut that they use. For the rails and things, it's M2 hex nuts. And for everything else, I believe it's M3. I also believe that there's a bit of a difference between the V0 and the micron in terms of the rails they use, because I'm pretty sure that on the V0 it's all MGN5 or MGN7 rails, but the micron has an MGN9 X rail by the looks of it. So everything else is MGN7, and except for the X rail, which is MGN9, which, if you didn't know, is the smallest extrusion that goes on like a Trident or a V2.4. So the biggest extrusion on this one is the smallest extrusion from all the other vorons. Beef potatoes and other veggies in beef broth with very thin noodles. Oh, the beef noodle soup. Yeah, that makes sense. It's a centerpiece that doesn't need a screw. Yeah, it does sound good actually. Making me hungry again. I've just had Chinese food and I'm already hungry. To be fair, brisket did have half of my ribs. So I just had some carbonara. But did you make the carbonara yourself? Or did you buy it from a jar? Right? I take umbrage with people who don't make carbonara themselves. If you haven't made it yourself, you'll be lowered in my estimation. Right. So I need end caps. I'm gonna need some M3 nuts and some M3x8 screws. There we go. I only make carbonara myself. Good lad, good lad. How are you finding the build, Jose? The V2 build? Other than like the wrong holes and the tapping that's missing that we talked about earlier. I don't remember, did you build a V1.5? Do you have a V1.5 or is this your first Milo? I did build, have, and serialized V1.5. Yes, you do. I remember that now. So how's the build compared to v1.5? I know Bright was saying that it was a lot nicer of a build, because the thing is, you guys will know what v1.5 was like, but since v1.5 was finished, right? Since v1.5 was finished, it's been nearly 3 years. It's been nearly 3 years of things getting better, and me streamlining my CAD workflow and stuff like that. So I want to know if you guys feel like it's as big of a difference as I feel. So many lurkers in chat today. Have not done much of the build really, but plan to do a lot today after dinner. Okay, cool. Were you just like verifying all the extrusions and telling me about all the things the other day then? That wasn't even the other day, that was at 4 AM for me. But based on what I see and CAD and chosen part, it looked good. Cheers, man. You know what would be nice to do a small run on? Maybe like 10 or 20 kits of some high-powered motors from LDO, or either some high-powered motors or some servos from LDO alongside the 0802 ball screw upgrade. So like an upgrade kit that has servo motors, servo drivers, and the ball screw upgrade. Because I think there's a few people who would love to do that, to build that version. I think it'd be too expensive for most people to get into servos, hence why we don't recommend the ball screws. But if you do want to go with the ball screws, servos would probably be the best way to do it. I'm in NJ and keep forgetting the time difference. It's all right. I work in a bar, so I tend to wake up at around midday. I'm very lazy. I tend to wake up about midday, go to work at 4, and then stay up until like 2 or 3 AM anyway. Yes, but 1210s are not... The thing is with 1210s is it's just not viable for the average person with an Allen key. You need a grinder, or you need a Milo already. I've gone through this a million times. Yes, it's possible, but are you really going to ask people who have just bought a kit to grind down hardened steel and potentially ruin their parts in the process? Because if you don't clear that grinding dust out, your ball screw is just going to eat itself up after about a month of use. So this would be an optional upgrade kit for users to purchase after the fact. Yeah. Exactly that. Because the thing is, without servos, the ball screws, you're not going to hit any good kind of feeds with them, any good feed rates with them. Not with steppers, at least, because you'll just run out of torque before you can get up to the speed that you need to. Maybe see, got some servo specs. I don't. Unfortunately, I don't know enough about servos in terms of specifying them, but I'll look into it. I'll look into it and do some research for you. Obviously, we're not doing EtherCAD servos. EtherCAT might be a bit overkill for Milo, just a bit. Awesome. So I've got all the Z uprights. I've now got rails on them. So I think we need to move on to the rest of the frame. At least that's what I'm guessing. I'd like to get the frame done today. If so, put together a bomb or speak to Jason, as he may know more about them. Oh, cool. I will do. Yeah, it might be something I do after the V2 kits actually release, because people might not want them. If the V2 kits do well, then yeah, sure. But I will definitely be asking for the HOIs to be added, because if the HOIs aren't added to the kit, well, you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot there. At least one should be added to the kit. Okay. All right, so all the rail stops are on. Corner number 1 assembly. Start with one of the pre-assembled A extrusions and 2 of the B extrusions. Note the direction of the linear rail is facing. Slide 1 of the A extrusion on, forming the first corner with B extrusions, whilst using your assembly surface to hold things flush and square. Tighten 2 screws to make the first 2 corners secure. This corner 1 will be the left rear corner of the printer. Cool. So it's rail facing down, well, larger empty end facing up, smaller empty end facing down, and then 2 of these extrusions to form the back left corner. No, I don't have a precision surface in this shop. I will be getting one soon, but that's for the CNC shop, so eventually I will have a precision surface. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get the frame built tonight, finish this off tonight, and then go and use my glass countertop in the kitchen. I think I've done this wrong somehow. That's all right. That's all right. I've already done this wrong. Yes, so this rail should be facing this way. That's fine. Easy enough to fix. Right, remind me never to stream on a Wednesday. Right, so that's back left corner. Cool. I should be thread locking these, shouldn't I? Do I have thread locker anywhere? I really should be thread locking these. No, I don't have thread locker anywhere. Right, might be time to use Nature's thread lock. Modbot is streaming. Ah, that makes sense. Yeah, I've got to go through and find I will thread. Well, I'll have to thread lock these another time because I don't have any thread lock with me. Allen key's too big. I remember when I trimmed Milo for the first. I'm guessing you're meaning trimmed. When I tried Milo for the first time, I wanted a precision surface, so I slammed my glass scale on the table. Oh god! But those are plastic normally, aren't they? Like even the glass ones tend to not be. Even the glass ones tend to be faux glass. Right. Build on a flat surface. Right. Looks like I'm going to. So back left. You need to preload 2 on the inside, 5 on the bottom, and 5 on top, and then 3 on the outside. Right. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It was real grass. Grass? I need to go out and touch grass. It was real glass. Broke it a week later. Oh my god. Do you remember when glass water bottles were a thing? When everyone was carrying around glass water bottles? And they kept smashing everywhere? And now everyone's got Stanley mugs. Which are equally as idiotic, but for a different reason. Okay. Alright, those are all preloaded. And I need to preload some more, so 4 inside, 7 on the bottom of this next extrusion. So get it installed first. My precision wooden surface. Well, glass water bottles, yeah, they were a really big thing. We used to ban them on the higher ups course that I worked at because people would bring them on the course because you were allowed water bottles there, and then drop them and smash them on people's heads by accident. It was a proper thing at one stage because you could buy like expensive bottled water. Expensive because why the hell would you buy normal bottles? And then people would keep the glass bottles themselves and take them up on courses or go to the gym with them, and they just smash. Who would have thought a glass water bottle brought on high intense activities would be a bad idea? I need some tweezers. My fingers are too sausagey. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One more. 4 on the inside. One, two, three. 1, 2, 3, 4. I put one too many in. I've just seen used a lot of metal ones. Yeah, the metal ones are still popular, but at one stage it was just glass everywhere. At least in the UK. This might just be a UK thing. I'm going to have to do the same thing on the other side now. Okay, so install this part first. So that's the back left corner, that's the one we started with. It's the wrong one. Okay. So we've got nuts loaded on this one, on this side. Gonna need to load nuts on this side, I'm guessing. But they actually tell you to do this first. Just don't do what I did and put them on the wrong way with the rail facing outside. Luckily, I haven't done that yet. Touch wood. The operative word is yet. Okay, so I need 4 on top here, 2 on the inside, 2 on the top here, 3 on the outside. Don't know why they ask you to do this now, because it's really inconvenient to get your fingers in here now. Do I have tweezers? Got some tweezers, yes. Right. 4 on the top of this side. God's sakes. Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of having these in situ when you install them. You should, at least one of these extrusions should still be off, and then you get told to put them in, because accessing the inside channel is kind of hard to do now. Okay, damn you. Luckily, it's only for 2. Right, it's 2 on this side facing me, on the inside here, and then it's 4 on the inside of this one, which makes sense because it's the same on the other side. If you didn't know, Hart K, who's the guy who designed these, is also on the Millennium team, since he effectively designed the Sex Bolt tool setter that we use. We gave him an honorary position on the team. Right. That's all the inside ones on the top's done. I need to do 3 on the outside, this one. Yep, cool guy. Yes, he's a very cool guy. He's a very, very cool guy. Every now and again, he gets to spill the sauce on some stuff that they're working with on Voron side, and I get really excited. No, I'm not going to say what those things are, because that would be breaking a load of trust. Cool. All right, so we've done all 4 sides on this extrusion. We've done the top and the inside corner on this extrusion. Now we need to do the outside. So we've done the inside and the top. We need to do the bottom, which is 4. Yep, I know that feeling. Oh, whilst we got you guys, I know that a lot of this has happened to a lot of channels recently, and it doesn't seem to have happened to my channel yet, but just in case, if you do like to watch streams that I produce and stuff like that, please make sure that you go into your YouTube settings and you make sure that you have restricted mode turned off, because if YouTube's been doing a lot of funny business recently, and they've been forcing people to use restricted mode. If their AI thinks that you're under a certain age, which you might be, if you watch, normal adult content like anime and stuff like that. So if you're into any of those things, make sure that you turn restricted mode off so that you get access to all my videos and everything, all my live streams as well, because a lot of them get delisted in restricted mode. Oh, there's nothing on the outside of this one, of this extrusion. Okay, so I'm guessing it's just install the last corner then. Yeah. Jose, can you verify before I do anything there's no nuts on the front part, the front bottom facing outwards? I haven't just missed something. Should not be. Cool. Just looked at mine. Yeah. We are doing the clicky clack mod on this, so there might be some stuff that I'm missing, but because of how it's built, it should be easy enough. So it's not clicky clack, it's a colony clacker for this one. But I'm also using colony clacker. Yeah, I want to use the colony clacker, so that's probably a good place to, it's probably good to ask. I just don't have the extrusions for it yet. This was meant to be a project that I started after V2, but yeah. UPS is being an asshole to hands. Awesome, right. Corner for assembly, that's the last one there. Okay, so I need to Right, so which side's the front? This side's the front, back left, back right, front left. Can you handle it? Handles are an optional component you can install atop your micron. They make carrying the printer very easy. If you want to install handles that need preloaded nuts, now would be a time to add those. The default handles for micron do not require preload nuts, don't they? They don't require preloaded nuts. How do they work then? Okay then, I'm going to trust you. Right, corner 1. Upper frame assembly. The remaining 4B extrusions will install using blind joints the same way the lower ones were assembled. The following pages will detail the preloads for these extrusions, including preloads for optional handles. Start with extrusions that connect corner 1 to corner 4. Okay, so that's back left to front left. Light it up. If you're planning to mount any of these using screws inside the enclosure, this is where you would add those nuts. Just going to double check. That is corner 1, yeah. So corner 1 to corner 4. They clamp the extrusion. Okay. That's pretty cool. Right. So I had 3 in the top, none in the bottom. 3 in the top, 3 in the outside, none in the bottom. I would recommend that if you're building this without rolling T-nuts, then tweezers are your friend. Tweezers are your friend. And if you're on the smaller side, tweezers are still your friend. Giggity. Is the LDO kit going to come with colony clackers? I think it's one of those mods nowadays that's so common that I think they should be like default for Voron. Here's one of those things that Voron seems to not do that we like to do. We like to incorporate as many of the community mods into our standard versions of build. So like HOIs originally were not standard. Now they are. Same with FMJs. Like those were all mods. The new CASA, the new revision of CASA that's coming out, that's got a bunch of stuff.
Workshop VOC level return to nominal levels.
Thank you.
Turning filters off.
Thanks, Alexa. Thank you for telling me that I'm not risk at VOCs. I've just put 1 extra nut in. That's fine. That's easy enough to take out. There has been talk since to make the colony clacker kit, but have not seen a yes or no. I would say that like if I was buying a kit, I would want them. They're such a big quality of life improvement for any Voron that is a clicky clack style door. especially if you're trying to do high temp machines. Like, there's still no commercial high temp machine. And I'm not talking, well, middle temp. Like, my Trident is still the only printer I get that goes above 60C. It's the only one I can print thick, really thick extrusions and really thick layer heights on without, in ABS, without worrying about warping. I think Voron has a lot of thinking. Voron and the DIY 3D printing market has a lot of thinking it needs to do about what is going to make the printers worth building in today's day and age, because most people want a printer that comes out of box ready to print. Like, the H2D has a heater in it, but it only goes up to 60 degrees. It only goes up to 60 degrees. Most Vorons will do 70, 80 as long as you build them well enough. And they need an inbuilt heater just to get it to 60 degrees. And I don't really trust the numbers, because every time I've seen a 3D printer advertise that they're using a chamber heater to get up to a certain temperature, it's not actually getting up to that temperature. It's just they're advertising as the best conditions if we put a blanket over it and this, that, and the next thing. Yeah, okay, cool. It's not real life, is it? In reality, your 60-degree chamber is probably just going to do like 40 degrees, 40, 50 degrees. Right. Top of the frame, the B extrusion goes from 1 to 2, okay? So 4 on the top. So it's one of those things where the DIY market kind of needs, if you're designing a 3D printer, you need to figure out what value you're adding to it, because for a while, Voron could get away with going, oh, well, we have a platform that can do tool changes. Then the U1 arrived. It's the U1? Is that the new Snapmaker one? And then people could buy a tool changer off the shelf. Okay, cool. Well, we can build a printer that meets your specific needs. Okay, but most printers meet the specific needs of most builders. Like an Elegoo Centauri Carbon, that meets the use case of 90%. Why does it say outside, 2 outside twice? The rear side has 2 that are required and 2 that are optional. Okay. So it's 4 and 4, effectively. Like, the DIY market has a great segment that's open for high temp printers, but no one's going after that. We have a great segment for automated printers. There's only one printer I know of, and that's the Vertigo, that's doing automation in 3D printing. It's surprised me how long it's taken for us to find to get an interest in automation, automatically releasing prints from beds. Do you know, Jose, do you know if anyone's doing, if LDO's going to do one of the Vertigo kits, or is it Vertigo? I think it's Vertigo. Or are they going to be doing their own thing? Are they going to be producing their own kits for that? Because I would really love to get my hands on one of those. 4 on top, 4 on the sides. Is Hans still here? Hans, are you still in chat? I love my Vertigo. I want one. Just in case, like you didn't know, we were developing our own. I was trying to develop my own automated 3D printer that worked in a similar but not the same way the Vertigo works. I wanted to make it an upside down printer, kind of like a positron. But the Vertigo came out and it was just better in every way compared to the design that I originally wanted. It was better in every single way. So I scrapped the initial. I scrapped the project that I was doing, and that printer will never see the light of day. Doesn't mean I'm not working on other 3D printers though. The kits will be made by LDO/West3D. Nice. West3D is becoming a real powerhouse nowadays. Millennium will be on display at the end of the month at Earth. I hate the fact that you guys have so many more rap festivals. We've only got the one, and it doesn't even happen every year. I wonder how E3D's doing, like financially, because basically all they've got at the moment is Revo. And Revo is like a 3-year-old product at this stage. I get that they've got Revo. They have a lot of they do a lot with coatings nowadays, don't they? Like they do some stuff with Bamboo Labs, some like hot end stuff with Bamboo Labs for their obsidian coatings on certain third-party 3D printers. I do like the fact that we're kind of moving away from the V6 style nozzles. Like, I kind of like that. I do enjoy that fact. Right, we have a frame. Yeah, they make different styles, yeah. They were, at one stage, like a proper powerhouse, though. Like, if it wasn't an E3D V6, it wasn't going to be a good hot end. It just seems like they're a bit, like, Revo's cool. Don't get me wrong, Revo's cool. Revo works well, but it doesn't keep up with high flow. Even Revo high flow isn't really that high flow. And with most 3D printer manufacturers making custom nozzles nowadays, like Luke's Lab, yeah, seems most of going with the smaller bamboo style. Yeah, which isn't a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. Right. I'm gonna have to make sure that this is completely square up, because there's definitely a little bit of a twist. Right. What else is going on? I'm not going to do the bed assembly just yet because I've got the wrong extrusions for them and I'll have to cut them to length. So we'll skip that step for now, and that can always be added on later anyway. It looks like it's the decking panel next. Right, which I'm going to leave, actually. Cool. Right, thank you guys for coming. I know it's not been what you were expecting in terms of the content that we were putting out today. I was really hoping to get my V2 started at the very least. But show must go on and all that. So I'm glad there were some people who were willing to watch tonight. I do appreciate it. I'll try and continue this on stream. It was more of a filler episode anyway. So if we don't continue on stream, that's fine too. So thanks for coming. I hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you guys next time. Bye.